Welcome, welcome. This is David Parra with AARP Arizona. We have our good friend Gina Roberts. All right, let's get started. And when people talk about fraud and all this, it almost gives the impression that one party can just come in and change the guide, the rules, the process. I mean, from what I hear, you have guidelines, you have a system, machines, computers, what have you, and they don't just get replaced because a new member of the or a head of that department belongs to a new party. I mean that's what I'm hearing. Is this correct?
That is absolutely correct, David. Absolutely 100% correct. Is that we have layers upon layers of security measures and checks and balances throughout the process so that there is not one single entry point into our electoral system that could be compromised without it being caught or checked and
Mm.
balanced. And so throughout those layers of security include that bipartisan nature. And so you're right, there cannot be a single person who can change the entire process. So with the election procedures manual, it's drafted by the Secretary of State in consultation with all the 15 counties, and then it must be approved by the Attorney General and the governor. So there are a lot of eyes on it who must sign off on it. Our state legislature, they are the entity that creates those election laws. So we have all of our 90 state legislators who are voting on election issues to make those changes too. So it really is. You see a lot of bipartisan involvement here in our election process. And again, there are so many layers and checks and balances and layers of security that we have implemented. So again, there's not just a single entry point where somebody can come in and change the rules or change the votes. It really can't happen with our system because we have such a great structure for our elections that has been developed over years of experience. So a great question, David, and you're absolutely right.
Last question on this point. So, can you repeat what you said about the internet? That they're not connected to the internet?
That's right. We often hear concerns from voters about, well, how do I know that the tabulation machine didn't get hacked?
Hmm.
Because it's not connected to the internet. We do our Arizona law actually prohibits that, so that is another
Wow.
security measure in place. So, and voters, there is a state law that requires our ballots to have live camera feeds on them, so you can go in there and you can view these cameras, and you can even see for yourself that there's no hardwire internet connections or no Wi-Fi signals and anything like that. So they are absolutely not connected to the internet. And again, we call that air gapped, and that is required by state law and our state procedures manual.
Now, can we say that this is across the nation, or we can only say that about Arizona?
It is across the nation. It is across the
Wow.
nation too. Mhm.
Sometimes people ask me, do you think that in the US there's voter fraud? I said, you know what? I just don't see how it can happen. That was always my answer. I just don't see how it can happen. And now with your explanation, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it is very, very almost impossible for there to be fraud because with all these check and balances and processes and equipment, it is just, thank you so much for sharing this information, Gina. It is great. I
Of
don't know if
course.
you wanted to add anything on this.
I just think, again, if you're a voter and you have a concern about this, the best thing you can do is go to those official sources, talk to them about it, talk to Clean Elections about it. We can give you the accurate information. And then ultimately, volunteer, serve as a poll worker. I say volunteer, but it is a paid position. That way you can see directly, work with your political party to be a political
Hmm.
observer. So, if you have those concerns, there's ways for you to get more involved so you can learn more about the process. And hopefully that will help increase your confidence about the security of your vote.
You have done a lot of videos with us, but I believe this is probably one of the best. Thank you so much, Gina.
You're welcome, David.
Thank you.